What's up, Max? We are Survive Set the Prophet. I'm the vocalist, Yosh.
I'm Isa, play the bass.
I'm Sho, I'm drums.
I'm Tatsuya, plays guitar.
We're okay?
Ivan on guitar!
Alright, sweet. Tatsuya and Ivan on guitar. We just want to thank you so much for checking us out. And Ryan, big ups for really doing that awesome review for us. We can't wait to go to Canada and we can't wait to see you all. I hope you're enjoying this album and we will see you soon. Bye!
So yes, Big Macs, today I'm very excited for this album review because this album So yes, Big Macs, today, as you've been able to probably guess from that title down there, today I'm here reviewing Survive Said the Prophet with their new album, Spaces, and this album, my God. I think I found out about Survive Said the Prophet about maybe, I don't know why I'm looking here, there's nothing there. About maybe a month and a bit ago is when I first figured out who Survive Said the Prophet was. Since then, I've kind of fallen down this hole of Survive Said the Prophet. And luckily for me, since I've just figured out about them, they just released a new album, which is kind of a great introduction for me into expanding my universe with Survive Said the Prophet, because Spaces kind of encompasses a lot of different sides to Survive Said the Prophet, or at least just based off of this album, that's kind of what I've gotten a vibe from, is that there are a lot of songs with a lot of different sides to them, and it is so good. But before we get into this album review, Big Macs, if you guys are not subscribed, you can click down that button down there as well. You can click on that bell and that notifies you when I upload a new video as well. I do also have PayPal, Patreon, and merch, all links in the description down below. So if you wanted to support what I'm doing on this channel, all the links will be down there, but please, as always, remember to take care of yourself first. Now, Big Macs, let's just get into it because I'm just ready to review this album. So here we go, Big Macs. Let's get into it with the first song called Spaces. Now, I really love this. This is more of like kind of an interlude or instrumental intro, and it is so well done. Like, they have this very nice reverb that's on the piano that plays along with it, as well as it kind of has this like a bit of a distortion into it, and at times they do this like reverse note with the piano, which I love. I don't know why. I mean, pianos just always sound good, and this is a great example of it. Like, this sounds like it could be in a movie. Like, it just sounds so good. And then they kind of change it up a bit by adding this like distorted drums and synths into it as well. Like that. Like, that just sounds so good. And the thing that I like about this is, we'll get to it again later on in the album, but what I like about this is how it kind of transitions into the next song, and this next song, oh my God. So next up, Big Macs, after we had Spaces, it kind of goes into this next song, which is called Translated, and this song was something that I was not expecting. I mean, once you hear it, you'll probably understand why. Like, oh my God. That was something that I was not expecting. Like, when I first made my reaction to Survive Said the Prophet, I knew that they kind of had a bit of a heavier side, just based off of some of the songs that I reacted to, but nothing was like this song, and I was not expecting that, and this song is so good. Just right off of the bat, just everything sounds amazing, and the screams and the vocals, Yosh, what are you? It's just so on point. The snare is so tight and nice and crisp, and oh my God, I can't, like, this is how they started off the album, and I was like, I already sold. Like, those vocals are so good, and throughout this entire album, but especially in this song, they know how to use dynamics, man. Like you go from that and then you bring it down to that more ambient part and then they kind of build up the song again. It is just very well done. And I think besides just this entire song being awesome, I really like this like transition that they have into the heavier part again. It's more of like a group vocal and then goes into intenseness. Like that is just so good. And another thing, going back to his screams, I like how they have like, there's a lot of different sounds to it. Like it gets that very like high, like intense scream and then like brings it down, and it's just so well done. I don't understand. And then another impressive part is just this tapping or guitar playing that happens before the second chorus, like this part. Like listen to that. And then I don't know if it was the same in the first chorus, but what I noticed while listening even more intensely to the second chorus is that the bass is amazing. Like here. Like listen to that bass. It's so good, man. It's just, this song just keeps getting better and better, and I don't understand how. And then there's like this great vocal echo reverb ghost kind of thing that goes into the final verse or into the final part. And then I love that. And then the way that this song ends made me think that there's going to be like another breakdown and anticipating something, which I think is always a great way to end a song, is making you want more of it, because it just ends like this. And then that's the end of the song. So that happened and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, what? What? There's no breakdown, there's nothing happening, you just end it on that? And it was just a great way to end the song because it makes you want more. Microphone, I hit you. You understand why, and I apologize. So this was just a great opening into Spaces, and a side of Survive Said the Prophet that I had not heard yet, and I am amazed by. Like, this is easily one of my favorite songs on this album. And now next up, we move on to the song called Spine. And this song kind of starts off with this nice, like, almost like trickling kind of sounding synth. It's playing along like with the guitar kind of. And speaking of the guitars, I love the guitar tones in this. They're just like nice and clean sounding. And then you have that bass that's kind of coming in there as well, and Yosh's voice on top of that, which his vocals in this song are so good. Just throughout the entire album, they're amazing, but in this song as well, they're amazing. I think though, besides just this entire song being great, my favorite parts of the song are the drums, just because they sound so good, and I love that they're panned to the way that I normally like drums being panned, where everything sounds like you're the drummer, if that makes sense, like you're panned from that point of view, or it's panned from that point of view. That's always just my favorite way of the drums being panned in music, so that just also, it felt good to me. And another thing that I noticed about this song too, I don't know if many of you know the band, God, they're a band like a while ago, a Canadian band called 10 Second Epic. The chorus kind of gave me like that kind of a vibe to it as well. And this chorus is just so catchy. But this song just has like such a good vibe to it. It just kind of has this like, I don't know really how to explain it. It's just something that once you hear it, hopefully you'll understand what I mean. And I think, again, another one of my favorite parts is this kind of bridge part where there's just this like great muted kind of harmonic guitars happening. It's just so good. And again, another different kind of side to Survive Said the Prophet, and it's amazing. So after Spine, we are here with the song Right and Left, And this song starts off, like the guitars in this song are so well done, especially this one. And it has like this nice quick kind of slap delay almost on it, like this. Is just so good alongside with just the vocals. Like it's just so good. And the vocals kind of have that like fasty vocal, almost like rapping vocals to them, which I like. So that accompanied with that guitar playing was amazing. And then they'd have a nice intro to the full band as well. Like that. It's so good. And another thing that I notice about in this song too is I love the way that the guitars are panned. It's each one is like playing its own thing, and none of them are really overtaking each other. Like if you wanted to listen to the guitar on the left, you can. If you wanted to hear the right guitar, you can. So it's not like they're competing with each other while they're playing two different things. It was just very well done. And then also too, they have this nice like stutter vocal part as well. But before we get into that, the stutter vocal, I love this transition that goes from the chorus into the second verse. Like that. It's so good. And listen to that hi-hat work. I just love the groove of this song. But the stutter vocal, where is it? Like it kind of also plays along with like the snare at that last part. It's just very cleverly done. Again, talking about the drums, how they are amazing. The kick in this song is just very nice and punchy. And then they kind of go back into like the intro for the bridge. I love this guitar picking. Like it's just so good. And something that I noticed too is that I just love the bass tone. So pretty much everything about this song is very amazing and well done and sounds great. So it's just like, what's not to like? But now let's move on to the next song called Found and Lost, which is one that I already made a reaction video for. So I'll kind of like talk about it a bit, but not too much, because if you want to go and see that, you can watch my initial reaction to Survive Said the Prophet. But I'm just gonna read through the notes that I wrote. We'll talk about it a bit, and we'll go from there. So immediately, just everything sounds amazing, but this intro kind of reminds me of a bit more of like a My First Story kind of vibe. Like that just kind of reminds me a bit of My First Story. And then another thing that I like are these kind of like electronic kind of claps that they have in there. Because this entire album has made me want to see Survive Said the Prophet live. But this song, especially having those claps in there like this, just make me want to be there live to do that. But sadly, I'm here in Canada, so what do? But also too, this is also the song that I kind of first noticed. I don't know if it was really in any of the other songs that I was talking about. If it was, I didn't really notice. But in Found and Lost was kind of the first song that I noticed the combination of Japanese and English lyrics, which for some reason I just love hearing lyrics in the same song that are in different languages. It just sounds pleasing to me. So this was a great example of that as well. And the chorus in this song is really good, and I really love the vocals like this. I love that part for some reason. That part just always sticks in my head. There's like almost this kind of like two-step-ish. I don't know if you guys remember a band called the Holly Spring Disaster. It kind of has like that kind of a vibe to it, like this part. Like that part for some reason just reminded me of the Holly Spring Disaster. So if any of you guys know who that is, let me know if you agree with that. And then as well too, going back to guitar tapping, there's this great guitar tapping that happens before the last chorus. This. And I love that pause going into it. And then again, kind of like, I believe it was in Crossfaith that they had this as well, where they have screams that are accompanying the vocals, but they're kind of like tucked behind the main vocals, so it doesn't take away from it, but it just gives those vocals that much like more power to it as well. So it's just Survive Said the Prophet, just yes. Just keep being amazed by them. And listening to this song again, I noticed a lot more than I did on my first time. But again, if you wanted to watch me react to the song and kind of, there's a video for that. So then again, the next song that we have is also called Spaces, which when it first came up, I was a bit confused. I was like, did my iPod go on shuffle and this is just playing again? But then you kind of hear there is like a bit of a difference. It still has the same vibe as the original, but it's obviously done a bit differently. It kind of has a bit more of like a horror-y vibe to it. And you guys know how I feel about horror movies, so this just... But like, listen to that. It's so good. And then, like, what I like about these two, as I was saying in the first time that we'll get to it, is right now, how these two Spaces songs lead into the next song. Like, next up we have Anyone, and it starts off with that kind of reverse note, which is how the song ended. It's just like, it's a good transition is what I'm trying to say, but I can't really speak. Yeah, so now we are here with the next song, Anyone, and again, I made a video for this, but I wrote a lot of notes for this song. So I'll try to just get through them quickly, because again, if you wanted to see me full on just freak out about this song, reaction video. And this song is again another one of my favorites on the album, because this intro is so good. Like, I just love the kind of bitty synth that they have that also has like these vocals along with it, and the vocals kind of have that same sound to it, and then it just goes into amazingness. So like, this intro is so well done. And when the full band comes in, it's just so good. And again, so far, like, each song kind of has its own different sound to it. Like, some of them have certain parts where they sound similar, but they all have this different vibe to them, which is what I really like about Survive Said the Prophet, is that almost like two songs don't really sound the same. They might have similar parts, but at least in this one album, I haven't really gone back and listened to all of their old stuff, which I really need to do. But just based off of this album, there's not really two songs that sound like similar. They might have certain same like tones or whatever, but they all have a different vibe to them, which is what I kind of like as well. The bass in this verse, like, just listen to this. Well, really just everything, but like that bass. Their transitions into like choruses or just any kind of other part are so good, and I really love this guitar picking transition into the chorus. Like, oh my god, what else am I supposed to say? Again, in this song, much like Found and Lost, it has a good combination of Japanese and English lyrics, and then this bridge in this song though is... it's just amazing. This. Like, I love that guitar and the bitty synth. It's just so good. And then in the last or final chorus, they have these screams and groups vocals that are just end the song perfectly. It's just so fucking good. Like, oh my god, Survive Said the Prophet. If you wanted to come to Canada, I will be at the show. If it's just me, oh, I hope you're okay with that. But now we move on to the next song, which is very appropriately titled, and it is called The Happy Song. It's called The Happy Song, and you immediately find out why, just because the piano is just so upbeat in this song that it puts you in such a good mood, along with the vocals. Like, you just, how can you not be in a good mood? Listen. Like, just this groove, this song just puts you in a good mood. And there's such a nice subtle change up with the guitars in the second verses. They just have this nice subtle guitar picking as well, like this. It's nice, like, muted guitar picking in the background, but again, what it does is it changes up from the first verse, which is just kind of like good dynamic wise and good for a song structure, just to kind of have it a bit different than what the first one sounds like. So it's just so good. And the The chorus in this song, my favorite part is kind of like near the ending of it, like the vocal part. Like, I just really like that part. The like da da da, and then I don't know why it just gets stuck in my head again. And then again, what I like is after this amazing bridge, which I'm not gonna play for you because I want you to listen to it. I like how they have this kind of vocal break for the final chorus. Like, it's again great dynamic wise, but then also makes the last part of the song sound a lot bigger just because you bring it down and then put it back up. Like that, so well done. And overall in this entire song, the last note that I wrote was that I just really love the groove of the guitars and the bass in this song. It just like makes you make this face every once in a while when you kind of listen more to like the bass or the guitars. It just makes you make that like face. And now we move on to, again, another one of my favorites on this album, and that is called Uplifted. And this song is so good. Just immediately off the bat, just based off of this guitar picking alone and the like reverb that they had on it and the tone of the guitar, just you'll understand. As soon as I heard this, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Like, that was so good. And then the vocals come in, and obviously it's Yo, so it's gonna sound amazing. Another thing that I really liked about this song is because it is a bit more of an emotional song, I like how the drums have this very raw sound to them. Like, they don't sound like they have any like kind of triggers, or if they're not like any kind of like overly produced, they just sound very raw and bare. They just sound very just bare, and it's good. Like, for the vibe of this song, it's very, I like that they did that. And then again, kind of throughout this entire song, the lyrics can be a lot more like emotional or just very fitting, but I really love the lyrics in Uplifted. Like, it's just so well done, and they're just so beautiful. Oh my God. Survive Said the Prophet is, they're so good. And the chorus in this song too is just so big sounding. I think just because of how kind of more raw and bare everything sounds, that it makes the chorus sound a lot bigger. And the chorus is awesome. Listen to that. The guitar picking is so good. Like, this song makes you feel like you're gonna cry. It's just so fucking beautiful. And then again, they kind of change it up again for the second verse, where there's this nice guitar picking and kind of more of a funkier bass for it, like that. It's just, they work so well together. It's so crazy, and I love it, and I need to see it live. But getting back into the song, in the bridge, they have all these kind of like breaks and pauses. Each instrument kind of gets its own like break. Those are just so good. I love it so much. And then they have a nice kind of change for the ending with like these group vocals, which just gave me chills. It's so good. Oh my God, I just need to go and see them live so I can do those group vocals live with them. It's such a good song. So emotional and so beautiful, and just covers you in chills. I love it. And then sadly, we move on to the last song. It's only sadly because it is the last song. So the last song for this album is called Still Believe. And this song, just the kind of vibe of the intro gave me like the 4 or 5 seconds kind of vibe. Like, what if I wanted to stop? Break free from my... I don't know, I think it's just the vocals and like the guitar that just kind of reminds me of that 4 or 5 seconds kind of vibe to it. Another thing that is great about this is that it has this very subtle build into it. And I wrote down here, toms are deep AF. Like, listen to that subtle build up. Like those. So deep. And another thing that I notice about this song too is that throughout the song it kind of starts changing in style, or like just in the, I don't know how to explain it. It just starts like changing and kind of morphing into like a different style, which is something that I didn't really notice. That's just how well they kind of hid how the song changes up throughout it. It changes style, and I was like, oh yeah, this song started completely different from how it ended. How did they do this without me really noticing until the end of the song? It's so well done. And at that part too, they have really good vocal echoes and panning. Well, just in the entire song they have that, and throughout the entire album. But in Still Believe is kind of when I noticed that. And then I really love the way that this song ends. It's kind of like how the Gazette, how they ended 9th, where it's just the song unfinished, where it just fades out. I really love, again, they, much like the Gazette, use the fade out appropriately, where you have this guitar solo that's happening, and you think that it's kind of going to go back into that, but the song just fades off from this guitar solo, so it makes the song feel like it's going to like keep going and going and going. And then it just slowly starts fading off from here. But those harmonics there and that fade are so good. Like, I don't want it to end. Like, it just sounds so beautiful, but sadly it just fades off from there, and that is the end of Spaces by Survive Said the Prophet. This album just takes you on a fucking journey, and it's amazing. It hits you in the face with a wall of amazingness, and then hits you in the feels, and then just makes you feel good about yourself. It just brings you to all the emotions and everything, and it is so good. And Survive Said the Prophet, again, please come to Canada because I need to be there. So there you have it, Big Mac, because that was me reviewing Spaces by Survive Said the Prophet, and this album is a great introduction for me into the first album that I have now owned from Survive Said the Prophet, and I now need to go back and listen to all of their other stuff, because if Spaces is just like an example of what the rest of their music sounds like, I have a lot of money that I need to spend. Also, too, I would say on this album, my 3 favorite songs, I'm going to go with Translated, Anyone, and Uplifted. I'd say are my 3 favorites on this song. Granted, the entire album is amazing, but I'd say those are my top 3. But to you Big Macs out there, I'm sure some of you guys have listened to this album. If you have not heard of Spaces yet by Survive Said the Prophet, or if you have not heard of Survive Said the Prophet before, you really need to change both of those. So make sure you check out the album. I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. Go buy it because it's honestly amazing. Though if you have listened to the album before, let me know what your favorite songs were in the comments down below. And once again, Big Macs, if you guys did enjoy this video, I'd love it if you click that thumbs up button down below. And if you guys are not subscribed to this channel, you can do so by clicking that subscribe button down there as well. And also, if you click on that bell, that notifies you when I upload a new video, so you never miss one from me. Thanks. And as well, if you want to support what I'm doing on this channel, I have Patreon, PayPal, and merch. All links will be in the description down below. But as always, Big Macs, please remember to take care of yourself first. And as always, Big Macs, today's biggest Mac is going to go to Chan Art over here on Instagram. Yes, recently Chan Art over here just gave me a follow. Spam liked a lot of my pictures, and I think, is your display picture, it kind of looks like it could be the cat from Sailor Moon, but it could also just be a black cat. Either way, I like that picture, and you are today's biggest Mac. So Big Macs, make sure you go over on to Chan's Instagram over here, go give them a follow, spam like all of their pictures, and just give them as much love and support as they have been giving me over on Instagram. And seriously, Chan, once again, thank you so much for all that love over on Instagram. Once again, you are today's biggest Mac. But anyway, Big Macs, I need to just figure out how Survive Said the Prophet did this with this album. Then I need to go back and listen to the rest of their albums to figure out if they've always been like this, because I have a feeling that they have. So I have a lot of awesome music to catch up on, and I have a lot of money to spend. So I need to go and do all of that. But once again, I hope that you Big Macs did enjoy this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.